everyone, to Generation Dan, the most beautiful fashion show since the Met Gala, and we have a good boob. I'm Atlas, I'm your millennial. Who else is here with me?
I'm Dino the Jedi Marvel, and apparently I have no idea what we're going to talk about.
Okay, alright, so
Awesome.
just
That was the greatest intro ever.
context about the good boob thing. So I was at Locals earlier today, and they had somebody was watching an My Name is Earl in the background.
Wonderful.
The prostitute character, she's like, I got my good boob out. So yeah, that's.
I feel like everyone has a good boob, though.
That's my left
a
one.
fair.
Yeah.
I was more referring to
women. Yes, I know
women, but hey, you know what? That's fine. It's so I I got this shirt years ago.
Yeah,
and it was meant to be like a compression shirt type thing.
Superman
shirt. Yeah, so it's Under Armour, and then so I put it on today, and it's very loose, and I'm like,
yeah, that's good.
I'm like, come on,
lose weight.
It's very, very peculiar because my gut is still really big, but everything else is getting small. So I'm like, I kind of look like a diamond. It's a unique experience.
There's like I forgot what the name of the company was, but the whole shtick is the top compresses your boobs down, and then it's loose on the bottom. So
yes.
But I keep getting ads for that. I'm like, guys, yes, but also fuck you.
100. Okay, so this is one thing that I've noticed is that my wife is a fashion designer, right? She designs real clothing, like for real people. It's a big business. Now, that being said, she also loves shopping, and it's taken me a very long time to convince her that, hey, you can just shop and not buy anything. And she's like, that sounds like a scam. I'm like, it's not. We can enjoy things by touch. And so now, like, she still will peruse. She does a lot of shopping on the internet, and she's like, we'll get random stuff here, and I'm like, what is this? She's like, oh yeah, I bought it like a month ago. I'm just gonna try it on. If it fits, it's great. If it doesn't, send it back. And I'm like, all right, sure.
Yeah, but then you have to send it back, which is like hardly worth the trouble. That's why I always go clothes shopping in person.
She loves sending it back. Like, she's like, oh, if it doesn't fit, I'm sending it back. No qualms about it. That's it sounds like a scam.
Then you have to then you have to freaking get either a new box or the same box if you didn't destroy it while opening.
Oh no, we have all the boxes,
tape,
the boxes,
stamps, all that.
I feel like it brings her a lot of joy to send them back something. Then she goes, "It doesn't fit. How dare you!" Like it's the insolence of not sizing things properly that I think it makes her a little bit angry, and she's like, "How dare you take it back?" Then they have no choice because that's good customer service now. Did you are you like me? I think most men like to physically go and touch things and go, this is presentable. I'll wear this,
yes, definitely. Yeah. Like to go shopping in person, especially because none of the frickin' it's a lot of joy. None of the frickin' measurements are the same on every website, and it drives me crazy. I don't want to write exactly what my size is for for Banana Republic versus Gap versus Target versus like all of the different stuff. I would rather just go into the store and be like, okay, they don't have my size, but we have like one below. Ask them to order it in and then just come in later.
Now, side note, when you're giving examples of places you shop, go a little higher than what you normally shop at. Just your wife will appreciate. Trust me.
Okay,
trust me, man.
Yeah, because
when I was at Harry Rosen, they didn't even have the right side. They said order it. Are you kidding me? Absolutely not.
I just didn't want to seem punchable. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. FYI, Banana Republic and Gap are the same company.
I did not know that. Okay.
She knows all sorts of, like, it's funny. You know how I'm crazy for like a ridiculous amount of things?
Yeah.
Bring up shopping and fashion, and my wife is like, I got this. Just step away, fatso. I'll take it. And she just fucking...
Why isn't she
so much information.
Get her on as a guest.
Oh, she doesn't actually like hanging out with me. She just, She has married me just for the security of the house, which I'm like, that's fine. Now that I'm thinner, a few other things, but it's good. It works. fine. It's about compromise in any relationship. Okay, you know what are your strengths, what are your weakness. You compensate for each other.
I mean, you're right though, because like I hate when you like look at the chart and it's like these 4 companies own all the food, all the clothes, all the it's all the same shit.
And actually, my wife can probably say there is one company, and maybe it's Zara and maybe Anthropologie. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. She'll know, but that she was like, there's actually one that essentially it's a boat, stocks up in the east with all sorts of materials, and then they're making stuff as it comes here. They're just like, dump it, go back. Like that's wild. Crazy. Yeah, and that's not a small company. That's an extremely large. It's Zara. There you go. Zara. She's like, it's Zara.
Okay.
And I'm like, this is the thing is I'm at a point where I'm like on the cusp of being able to fit into fast fashion, which on a side note is the worst thing like for the economy and environment, all that kind of stuff. I get that. However, I'm a big fat pig. So being able to fit in fast fashion is kind of a big deal for me. So now I'm like, I could shop at H&M now. And I'm almost there, which it's like, listen, for me being a giant fatso, it's a huge, see, my wife agrees. Fast fashion sucks balls. Factual. So yeah, it's one of those things where like, also I see some things and I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not wearing that. And people are like, oh, why don't you get that? It looks so casual. And I'm like, I'm not a casual guy. I like to wear suits. I love wearing suits because I feel like top tier. I feel like a man, you know?
I hate suits. I hate, like, I have the same basic silhouette. I am the box art of SSX Tricky from like 2004, where it's t-shirt, jeans, sometimes a sweater or a jacket or something.
Oh, we've seen your old man sweaters. They are very old man on point.
But I'm saying that like it's the same basic silhouette, not just because it's like convenient, but I express myself not or like in a fashion sense, not with like the types of clothes, but what's on the shirt.
You're just stuck to words. You're stuck to words, and you're like, read my shirt so you can know me, because the rest of it, you're getting nothing.
Words or pictures or that kind of thing. Like it may seem like juvenile or whatever. A proper suit tailoring can change your silhouette. That's true, but then I would be wearing a suit, and that would be the worst thing in my life.
Okay. I hate. Is it the heat? Is it the heat in a suit? Because I need to understand this because, like, you're going to need suits.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know.
I know.
That time is coming in your life.
Yeah. Two things. It's the heat. I run hot just in general. The other thing is that I associate suits with the divorce layers that made the entirety of my late childhood and all of my adolescence a living hell, and thus they can go die in a fire. So, fuck suits. Yeah, also, third thing, I'm jealous of you women out there where like I can wear a dress, I can wear a pantsuit, I can like you have so many more options, and guys get suit or get the fuck out.
You can't. You are allowed to wear a dress now. So
okay, yes,
or at least a skirt.
Yeah, but then I have to do acid and go to the Oscars, and I don't know if I can do that. It's such a magical night. You
can do acid anytime. You don't need the Oscars. That's
you know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, it's for the
sports jackets. Less so, but also yes. Like maybe 70% that.
You can. So so if you run hot, I would definitely consider a linen suit, just because it's very breathable and you won't feel as nasty. Now, I'll help you understand something. I bought a suit in Canada. So anyone who's watching, if you don't know, Canada is where all the cold is stored for all the world. We store it right here in a big area. So
Canada and Greenland, it's all of
that. Greenland, they're a little bit. They were like, deceive the Vikings, whatever. I don't know about that. But here, where we store all the cold, all the suits are made with some composition of wool. Now, in the year, let's say 2007, maybe 2007, I think it was. I went to Beijing, Shanghai, a place called Chongqing, and a few other places. Now, in doing that, this is actually before I met Victoria. I needed a suit because I was going to have some business meetings on behalf of my father. And I'll tell you, I wore a suit, and it was August. Did I mention it was August in China?
Which
August
is
is
very humid part of the world.
it was like being
Yeah.
soaking wet at all times. And the problem is that I was raised that how you look is important, right? You want to, if you dress a certain way, you make sure you dress well. You don't want to be ill fitting and all those kind of things, right? Which is, of course, driving me mental at this stage of my losing weight. But when you put on a jacket and you realize, oh, I'm going to sweat right through this jacket, and then people are like, why don't you take your jacket off? I'm like, I've committed to this. I'm just going to
The
live it out.
second you take the jacket off, there is a map of the entirety of Europe on your back.
Listen, and normally my nipples are hard in general, so I'm like, I'm not comfortable with showing all my business because the sweat will definitely go through. And I can like I always wear an undershirt, and it's a t-shirt. It's a full t-shirt because I can't.
That is something I can't do because of the heat, right?
Honestly, I wear it in heat as well, just because it keeps my outer layer in
dry.
better condition. Well, as dry as can be expected. Listen, I was very fat. For many years, and
because I was thinking about this, where like you're losing weight.
Yes.
At a very fast rate. Not alarmingly, he doesn't have cancer or anything, listener, but he's going through a lot of different sizes. It's like having a toddler, where like the pants you bought last week, they're gone. Like,
it's accurate. That's totally true. I'm down to 2 pairs of pants, and neither one is. And both of them are too big now, and I'm like, do you know how long it's been? You know how long it's been since I've been able to grab the leg of a pair of pants and go like this and barely touches my leg, and I'm like, and they're stretchy too. I bought them stretchy. I'm on at the same time. I bought a belt that was I could only buckle the first hole.
Okay.
And now I'm on the 5th.
Wow.
And I'm like,
what?
Yeah, but also too, it's like when you're this fat, it happens fast. It's weird. Anyways, fashion. It's like. I would definitely explore, definitely suit jackets. I remember my ex-father-in-law, he hated wearing ties. So the thing is, especially we were all the same religion at that time. So when you go to a Kingdom Hall, you have to dress appropriately. And that would be at least a suit jacket, a dress shirt, and a tie, right? Okay. And that's a reasonable thing. As soon as he got into the car, he would like rip it off of his, and I'm like,
"Oh, I hulked the fuck out when like the function is over, and then you can, it's over, like
I would, I definitely have made fun of you and your people. I'll just people who do that, I'm like, why? Just enjoy it. And the sun is going right into your face.
I know it's the worst. That's just how it's going to be for most of the show. Sorry, people watching on YouTube.
It's like your shirt has become part sun. Because it's already yellow. It's very entertaining.
Like even at my old job where a lot of the people wear scrubs, and when I first got there, they were like, "You have to wear scrubs," and then over time, they were just like, You're not dealing with patients. You're not going to get covered in blood.
Yeah.
Whatever. So, but for a long time, I would just keep my street clothes in my car. Because I was normally going to do comedy after work. So, like, going on stage in a pair of scrubs is weird.
I would lean into that and just be like, I look like I'm in medicine. No, record management.
But B, the other thing was, like, that company, the scrubs that they got were like polyester, which is not what you're supposed to do. No. So these were hot. They're scrubs. They're supposed
super
to breathe.
Hot. Yeah.
They were terrible. So eventually it would be a thing where like I'd put my street clothes on before I left. Then it was at lunch. Then it was an hour into work. And then I just started coming in street clothes, and they were like, whatever. And then just left it at that. Like eventually over time, then other people just started coming in street clothes, and then it just,
I feel like scrubs are like people who wear lab coats that aren't doctors. You're like, they try and make themselves look official, and I'm like, that's not necessary. Like, look, there are like, if you're a nurse, and you're dealing with people, sure, because
yes, definitely
stuff will happen.
Is going to splash on you. Yeah.
If you're an administrator at a medical office, no,
you don't need to.
Let's calm down.
Yeah,
just relax.
I get it in terms of like identification. Where like, are they a patient or do they work here? Scrubs, they work here. I got that.
But then people who want to pull a scam wear scrubs. No, it's like as we discussed, walking around with a clipboard, nobody's going to question you. And what is it? Walking anywhere with a ladder, they will just let you in. Just period. Blanket statement.
Ladder. Got a ladder.
Excuse me. Doing a thing. Yeah. And they'll be like, go ahead.
If that place had like more comfortable scrubs, then I probably would have kept it because they're pajamas, basically. But they are. But and I think like I assumed when the pandemic happened and we started shifting more toward like work from
casual,
home, and people were just like in pajamas for months at a time.
Which is seriously not healthy. Just for the record,
but like even for that, I assumed like even when some jobs started going back to the office, like the threshold of what is considered work appropriate lowered. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm glad for that because fuck
definitely.
Suits. Yeah.
Well, see, and that's the thing is, I love wearing a suit because it makes me feel like I'm wearing a suit of armor, right? Because I didn't ever. So this is the advantage. It's like advantage but disadvantage was when you're as fat as I am, you have to get tailored suits. So either way, and even if it's a non-tailored suit, just to get my size, I'm gonna be spending $700 to $800. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get something good, right? And the guys who make fat people clothes realize that, hey, if we're gonna charge as much, it's actually got to be half decent, right? So and also too, like years ago, one of Victoria's aunts, she worked at a not tailor, it was a manufacturer of clothing, and they did dress shirts. So I have a collection of dress shirts that all are initialed, French cuffs.
Ooh.
Just like, I trust me, I fucking love them. Now,
I don't necessarily hate dress shirts. Like dress shirt on jeans, I'm okay with.
You're like the business casual man. That's what you are. You're like, I'm a business casual. I wear jeans and a fancy shirt, and I'm good. Like that's, I can respect that. I really can.
Yeah, but
that's.
It's just like I said, I have my reason for not.
Oh sure, no, those are totally valid.
These things, but and maybe I'm being a little harsh when I say like I want them to go the way of the corset. I've like you can some other episode of this show. I think I've said that where like I think suits need to go the way of the corset, where they're like antiquated or whatever.
I feel like they're very specific in their usages. And people have made them a blanket thing, and I'm like, that's not necessary because you can dress well and not be in a suit. But there is a certain authority you get when you do wear a suit. That's like, even this past time when I was going, when I went to Mexico and came back, I wore a blazer, and I had a completely different reception just to everyone. Not only because I wasn't as fat as I used to be, so I actually, nobody was afraid to sit beside me, which I was like, that's a weird experience. I'll tell you that right now. Because I'm still, like, I used to do the joke where I was like, I love traveling. Or I'm like, I love to fly. People who fly don't like that I fly. Standard. People are terrified as I'm walking down that aisle, and I'm like, oh, and listen, that's before they even smell my nuts. It's just like, hey, sorry, I'm a fat guy. So now it's weird because I'm still 6'2" and 300. Well, no, not even 300 now. I'm 290. Wow, 294 today.
Congrats, sir.
Yeah, it feels really weird. It feels great. Don't get me wrong. I feel better health wise and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I'm a small person now, and the thing is, I'm not small at all. So it's like if you sit beside me in an airplane, like I'm still leaning over onto your side because I'm like, I have massive shoulders.
You've gone from Groot to Daredevil, so from massively gigantic to like just a big dude.
Yeah, that's It's accurate. It's hilarious, but that's the thing is when I dressed in a blazer, the reception was better, like significantly better, and also people made way for me, which is, I'll tell you right now, it's not very nice when they do it when you're fat, but it is nice when people do it and we dress fancy. I'll tell you that is
because that's how flying used to be, where like
Oh yeah, it was an affair.
Yeah, it was an affair. You put on your Sunday clothes and you go on a plane and fly across the country and drop chemtrails everywhere. No, imagine if this was that kind of podcast. But yeah,
we can do whatever we want.
No. Pass. But yeah, it's maybe because like people are so used to from COVID and B just like you want to be the comfiest you can while flying. People will just
Well, I think there is something to be said about the comfort of clothing now being transitioned to not just your home wear, but at all times clothing should be comfortable. I do like that.
Yeah.
However, it's also kind of fat person catering, which I'm like, fuck you. Because I didn't get that benefit for many moons. So I don't want anyone to get that benefit because I'm a bastard.
Yeah.
But like that, like clothing should be more comfortable. But I find that, hey, if you get away from synthetics, clothing's significantly more comfortable, or at least if you know what to buy, and like it's one of those things that I've always been comfortable spending a little extra on something that's nice, just because I know it will last, but also it'll be comfortable, right? Like nice suits will come with a silk patch between your legs for chub rub. Okay?
Yes.
And many suits did not have that. Many expensive suits didn't used to have that.
Mm-hmm.
However, when they realize, hey, this is important at a certain size, they all get it.
Yeah.
And which is a great thing, right? But should all dress pants be stretchy? Absolutely not. How dare you? It's insulting. It's
for skinny people out there. Chub rub is when your thighs do this. They tell people you're coming.
They can start fire. Oh God! That's
yeah. It's not fun.
Here comes Atlas. Here comes Atlas. That is horrifically hilarious. I love it.
I have lost many a pair of jeans because of that.
You're preaching to the choir, my friend. That's
one way to help prevent that is like don't wash your jeans every single week unless you get them dirty, because jeans are self-cleaning, like bacteria-wise.
That's specific to the color indigo, and that's one of the trademarks that made it so important for
working people,
but also the samurai would use indigo on their inner layer because it was antibacterial and would help them not to get a infection.
Like if they got stabbed. Wow, because you're shitting your pants. Just do it. I shit my pants. I have shit in my pants right now. There you go. I hate you so much, Cole.
Thanks, Cole.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that. Could you imagine the smell? Chub rub and no. It's a lot of hot and a lot of poop. It's not good.
God damn it, I hate you all. Well, okay, here's the other thing. So I'm currently working on becoming a teacher.
Yeah.
For high school. And I'm watching TV shows about teachers and, remembering all of the like teachers I knew growing up and just looking at how they dressed, where you kind of had it all over the board. Some of them went like full on Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World with like the suit every single day. Yep. Some of them were more like your what's his face, Dennis from It's Always Sunny on AP Bio. His character, where he's got like what I had: t-shirt, dad sweater, jeans, and then like I knew other teachers that were just like collared shirt and shorts. That was usually the gym teacher, but it's something.
Yeah. See, I at this point,
fine.
That's totally reasonable.
No. Yeah. Completely warranted. I just hate you. That's it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a reasonable thing. See, this is the thing, Atlas, is you're looking at it from a perspective that students still respect teachers. This is false, sir. This is completely false. Students, it is now the Thunderdome. If anything, I feel like you should get some riot gear. Depending on the grade, of course, but
Yeah.
you know.
I think I'm aiming for like high school, so anywhere between freshman and senior.
Riot gear, I take up jujitsu. I'm just
maybe.
It's well, like I just saw a video where a teacher confiscated a girl's phone. So she whipped out pepper spray and sprayed him right in the face. And I'm like,
my God.
Number one, that's assault. Like, that's a hard assault. Number two, I would snap that phone in my hand. As soon as you pepper sprayed me, I'm like, sorry. Yeah. Oops.
Okay, do you remember that video from a couple years ago where there was the math teacher who was doing like the really racist American Indian thing for teaching SOHCAHTOA?
I don't, but I'm going to Google it.
I think we talked about it on this show for a little bit, but there was like she's trying to teach SOHCAHTOA for like the figuring out triangles and stuff, and she's going SOHCAHTOA and like chanting, and that's a bad way to teach SOHCAHTOA, not just because it's racist, but because there's a better mnemonic device for it, which is some old hippie caught another hippie tripping on acid. Done. You got it.
Fair enough. That works too. See, sometimes you're like, it's funny, but there's a better way. That's fair. See, but that's so you're in a situation where you should definitely, number one, start working out. You're gonna need it. Also, because they will give you a little flick if you're not tight. If you know what I mean.
Oh, this.
Yeah. Because I know I did. 2 male teachers. What's up?
Really?
He's like, fuck you, man. And I'm like, bro, I'm fat too, but nice and smooth. It's listen, I get a lot of power over other fat people with my flat titties, and also bald men because I have this little island right here. It's very impressive. Okay, this is how I draw all my power.
Oh yeah, I'm. This isn't quite there yet, but eventually.
Oh no,
this will leave, and then
you're in league with vampires. You got a widow's peak. That obviously that's fine.
Now, on my other show, Nexus at Night, me and my other 2 co-hosts have like a bit of a bet between the 3 of us. Which of us will go bald first? And
it's a tough call.
Yeah, right. And like we're pretty sure Matt's gonna be okay, and it's between Root Beer and I. Where like he's going from the center out. I'm going like with male pattern, or what's it called? Receding. Yeah.
Receding, way better than male pattern, because I'll tell you, number one, you can't fight a fight on 2 fronts. So if you're going from here and then this starts, this is only eventuality, and then just combine forces and we'll overrun your face.
At that point, you might as well just go full Walter White, shave your head, and then keep the beard, and then that's my backup plan. If I start going full ass bald, is doing that.
Well, you have very large, but it looks very small because it's so narrow.
Yeah.
My oldest brother has the same problem. He can't wear hats because his head's so big. But his face is very narrow, so people were like, oh, Dino, you got a bigger head. I'm like, no, I got a big fat face. There's a difference, right? And now it's getting streamlined.
So now what I'm wondering is, like, if you, like, older, balder men will, like...
Go to Turkey?
What?
Go to Turkey? Get plugs? No.
Yeah. Try
That's
it.
a new thing.
Why Turkey?
Oh, it's dirt cheap. And so for like $5,000, you can go. They'll do the full treatment, and also they'll let you sit in a spa for like a week too to recover. The make sure there's no infections and all that kind of stuff, and then send you home. And you're like, it's a pretty good deal. There's a lot of cheap stuff out there. But.
We're doing this to make up for the thing we did to the Armenians. I hope this is enough. No, okay.
It's never enough because they did it to the Greeks too.
That's so messed up. Anyway, no, but I mean, like, for people who are like older and balder, it seems like suits are kind of their way to like try and make up. I'm still
awesome.
That. Yeah, which maybe there is something to be said about that.
To have their studio class and fancy
well, I'm stuck in the old. Is it like you remember in high school there was like the temporary classrooms, and they're like literally just trailers at the back of the school, like behind the basketball courts and shit? Is it like the college version of that? God, you know what I mean?
There's always my wife, where she went to university, did the same thing, where she went and it was still like super super dodgy, and as soon as she left, they started construction on a new entire facility for fashion. She's like, son of a bitch. Like, she's
Yeah.
so mad. Even when we would walk by there, she's like, bullshit.
Yeah, it's always that feeling. Dino lost so much more weight that he looks 15 years young. He's about to start wearing Vans and hanging out with more millennials. That's true. Yeah. Wait, no.
Hold on,
no,
I'll show you the Vans I have.
No! God, fuck. Okay.
Listen, I've been hoping that I could wear these for so long.
No.
Okay? They're the
high tops!
Yeah. They're the AT-AT.
Okay, admittedly, that was pretty dope, and I'm jealous.
Or no, sorry, the TIE Fighter ones.
Yeah.
They're
cool.
yeah. Yeah, well, my wife bought them, and then I'm like, I have flat feet, and they're big and fat, so it's really hard to get into. However, now, all my shoes fit differently. It's a very unique experience, I'll tell you. But,
well, because you're losing so much weight, your body's like, we have to get rid of more fat. Take it from his feet. I don't know. Everywhere. Go everywhere.
I got. Listen, this is the weird thing is like now I have. You can see it here. Like there are indents in my hand. I call hand sticks, and also now I have feet sticks. Very weird experience. First time ever, and I'll tell you, I don't know. It makes me feel vulnerable. Very vulnerable. But hey, that's just me. Thanks, Cole. I appreciate it. I've dropped 156 pounds, or the weight of a human being. Large, small, either one. Yeah. It just That's like a small man, a large woman. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
That's like a power forward on the high school basketball team. You know, like.
Yeah.
Like sophomore power forward. You know?
Yeah, that's fair. It works.
Painful to know we're both in the same portion. I assume he means position. We both still have to endure occasional manure smells since this part of camp is where the uniform's at. Yeah. UCR, when I was there, didn't have farms, but we did have a river that wasn't a river and then a train going by every 25 minutes.
Can I ask a question? In the United States, why don't all universities have farms? Don't you guys have cafeterias and stuff? Like
they do. I assume
because that's agricultural courses are a huge thing.
Yeah, California has a lot of farmland, so I think there's just enough space to where you didn't need to put it next to a farm. That's my guess.
Fair enough. That's weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, see, as a older, fatter, balder man, I definitely feel much better wearing a suit. I went to an improv thing this afternoon just to try and get out of the house and do something really abstract for my brain.
Yeah.
And I wore a Puma jumpsuit with I wore so just so you understand, at first I had a collared shirt, like a golf shirt underneath, and then I put on a new flat cap, and my wife was like, absolutely not, you look like an old man. And I was like, oh, is the shirt? She's like, and the hat. And I'm like, oh,
yeah, the hat makes it look like you were in the war and now it's the 1970s. And then
it's
and then the Puma thing makes you look like a Russian mobster. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, totally, absolutely. I definitely not the Star Wars.
Is there a outfit that when you see someone in it, you just automatically associate? It can be any gender, race, whatever. What article of clothing makes you go, that person blank?
Uggs. Trash. Uggs with the fur on the outside or salt stained. You're trash.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
It's funny because when I was a kid,
true.
This is before Uggs became white girl shit. It was just they were boots, and that's
they're ugly as shit in general. My wife has bought Uggs, but they're leather. They're very nice, very warm. I'm like, why are you putting the fur on the outside? That's a dumb design on a damn shoe.
Yeah, definitely.
Zaragoza, you're absolutely right. Fast fashion ruined it all. It ruined it for fat people first, because I'll tell you right now, I can Hulk out of almost any piece of clothing that's made by fast fashion. Just rip it right off.
What constitutes fast fashion, Zara or anybody? Yeah.
Cheap and extremely seasonal based.
Ah, there you go.
So it's constant turnover. It's all of its product is constantly. So if you see something, you like something, buy three of it, because it might not be here in a week.
It's like Trader Joe's, where whether you or anything on Netflix, whether you like it or not, it's gone at the end of the season.
Yeah. It's very much, and then you're like, it's like I understand it, but you're like, hey, if you have a T-shirt selling for $3 or $5 or $10, you're like, yeah, that's slave labor. You can't. And people are like, oh no, they have robots doing it. You're like, no, they just have people who have nothing to live for, and that's the real problem, because there's the assumption. Thanks. The assumption that people actually know. Like actually care about people, which you're like, oh, that's no. Just any billionaire, no.
As long as you have one of these, you can't pretend that like like you're buying ethically. Like it's just everything sucks. Yeah.
Anything with a battery now. So remember, I believe that there were other resources used for batteries for the longest time, and now where it's so cobalt focused, where you're like, it's just insane. Yeah, weak, generally cheap materials, very trendy, made with poorly. 100%. Yeah. Fast fashion. It's like everything at H&M. Yeah. Everything at H&M. Essentially, if there isn't clothing that's over $50, you probably bet the most. I don't know if $50 is a lot or not. Maybe $50, $75. If there's nothing over that price point where you're like, oh, this is expensive, like a jacket being $60, you're like, that's impossible, right? But a jacket for $120, you're like, okay, right? It's a little more believable. Also, since fast fashion has such high supply leftovers, those clothes don't get recycled and then just dumped in some. It's very messed up, because some of the stuff that gets produced through fast fashion is horrifically ugly, and like that's one of the things I like about a suit too. Is a nice suit.
One of the suits,
it doesn't just last a long time. It never. If it's a nice suit, the only thing you'll need to do is probably update a shirt or a tie. That's it. You're good. No problem, because it's a simple thing that it like a couple of the suits I have from 2009, 2011, and they fit significantly better now than they ever have, which it's.
But I think like as time has gone on, that like the construct of a bunch of stuff just gets shittier and shittier. Like the planned obsolescence is turning up as time is going on.
Yeah, well, these are tailor-made over. I got them in Hong Kong. I had a tailor when we went to Hong Kong. There was a tailor. I was able to meet with him, get fitted. So I had like a my special number, and it worked out well.
That's good.
But yeah, it's expensive as fuck. But at the same time, you're like,
this is good. Like, so I have to get a suit for my wedding where I'm in purple, because jewel tone. I talked about this on a gajillion other episodes.
Yes.
Not everyone's going to listen to everything. I got it. But the point is, like, it's got to be purple. So I'm trying to get the least ridiculous purple possible so that I can reuse it for other stuff.
That's not a thing. Just like I would say is that do it as a wedding suit, and then maybe someday you could be Joker for Halloween. But that's about it. It's not. Yeah. That's true. They will bleach the shit out of those clothings, and then the dyes are not the normal. Like, understand that there are only a few towns and companies in Japan that still produce indigo color. The actual color itself, because it's antibacterial, it's all those good things. It's extremely expensive. It's a very refined technique. It's been around for hundreds of years.
Well, yeah, because you have to like kill. You have to crush abalone shells. No, it's some kind of snail. I think. I can't remember. Yeah.
The point is this, though, that instead they'll use stuff that's cheap and usually toxic. The dye will come through, rinse it, do whatever, and it's fine. I'm no fashion major. But I do know a few who I'm close to, and they do talk about this. It's a huge thing. Hey, what's up, McT? Victoria says, "What kind of purple?"
Purple.
That's it. Like
literally, it can be anything from like lavender to like deep wine color. Like that. That's possible. Like, does not.
A havoc staff is not a bad idea.
No, I'm just
saying it's a good purple.
I'm pretty sure I found the one that I wanted. It's closer to a burgundy-ish. So, you know.
Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah. Listen, this is the thing is, if and hear me out, you can go purple, but if you go purple with, say, like a window pane style or something like that, it will make it more of a classical statement with a unique color instead of this guy's lost his fucking mind. Because
what
I'll
is
tell
the
you,
window pane style?
so it's like just crisscrosses, but larger. So it's like a bunch of big squares. I will show you. Don't worry.
Okay,
but yeah.
What is with the weird like Greek accent when you're like
listen,
like dropping knowledge on somebody? You get the Greek accent for it.
Much better say, listen, you must understand, the language does not work this way. It is important that you explain and then you reveal. And then people go, oh, I don't know why, but if I'm trying to explain something, as soon as the Greek accent comes into play, people are like, oh, like it encouraged people to listen more.
Well, because it's not what you're used to. If you pick a more yeah, okay.
But that's like, I will I'll find some colors for you that might work, because like that's the thing is, just completely purple, you're gonna look like a psychopath if you wear anything but not for your wedding. Dino, are you going to make it a mini Cole with your excess flab when you I will. You know what? I probably have like, so I'm like, because right now I'm 294.
Yeah.
I probably want to get down to around 250, but I'm also like, I've been working out for a couple months too, so I'm the weight loss has slowed, but also I may make it into a person. I may just go to the butcher and be like, I need 160 pounds of fat, and they're gonna be like, for what? And I'm like, it's for the internet, and then I'm just gonna make it into a slab and preserve it somehow.
It's gonna be like that that episode of Family Guy where Lois gets fat, and then at the end they like just do liposuction, and they're like, "What did you do with all my excess fat?" It's like, "Oh, it's in this closet here." And then because over the episode Peter was like attracted to fat Lois, he opens it and he's just having sex with the bag, and he's like,
"I remember
it's exactly what it looks like,"
which is oh god, men are disgusting. Just for the record, just so everyone knows, men are disgusting. But that Victoria says the purple should match your skin tone too, which is going to be tricky because you're a ginger weirdo with no soul. Yeah. So you can get your color matched so you know which purple works. Maybe like a reddish purple or something like that. There's that's
why I think the burgundy-ish thing works better.
Probably.
Yeah.
But remember, because winter time, that's fine. I'm thinking you're going to have a lot of options, but let's be honest, you're not smart when it comes to suits because it's your nemesis. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be smart about it. But lucky for you, the Greek man always knows, and his Chinese wife, very, very intelligent.
I guess I should be smarter about it because it's a good thing to know and everything. But just like. It was like when there were all the protests during COVID, and we're like, oh man, we could have like just a little bit more, and we could have had it so much better for common people, just a little bit more, and I wouldn't have to deal with getting a fucking suit ever again.
Yeah, well, At the same, okay, this is the thing: is the idea that a suit was for work was a uniform that everyone could get behind, right? Because when it was just men. Yeah. But when it comes to, I want to be mini Cole again. Hey man, I get that. Listen, this is the weirdest experience. Cole already lost a bunch of weight, and now he packed some back on. I'm sure he still looks better than I do. Yeah. But realistically, now with me going through it, I'm telling you, I feel your pain, buddy. It is fucking weird. But yeah, so the idea, that's when women came into the workplace, it caused the whole hullabaloo because you're like, women can't wear suits, that's ridiculous. Which, at the same time, a lady in a suit, banging. That's some hot shit. It's just in general. I agree. That's my opinion. She just looks so authoritative, and you're like, I want to respect her. You know? But then also do horrible things. Like, it's fair. But that being said, like, it's become cascaded throughout so much that it's understandable that it's gone crazy. So the idea that people should be more comfortable in their regular day-to-day life, I 100% agree with. But at the same time, there's everywhere you go that has a lax
dress code,
you have some cocksucker who ruins it just every time. Yeah. He's like, I thought shorts were cool. And you're like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, there's no reason.
Oh, I thought you meant the other way. I thought you meant it was the.
Oh, it's not going to be a cock. Well, yeah.
No, I thought when you said cocksucker, you were talking about the dress code equivalent of, hey, you forgot to collect the homework, where he like dresses too nice and then it makes him look bad.
No, because that was usually me. Because I would come to work in a suit if I had something important to do. And people, why are you dressed in a suit? And I'm like, because I'm better than you, obviously.
There was a kid when in my middle school who would dress in suits. Shout out to you. You know who you are, but like he would do that, and like no one really bullied him for it because like he was a smaller kid, but he just had this like aura about him where it was like 100%. If you mess up my suit, I will kill you.
You're definitely getting stabbed in your sleep. Yeah. Like, no, that's fine. Yeah. See, and that's the thing is, there were a few times in school where I had a presentation and I'd bust out a suit, and I remember one guy who didn't have any suits. You like 100%. You're like, I don't think you could buy suits, but also I don't think they would sell it to you because you look so trashy. Now, that being said, he walked up and he was like, "Oh man, your tie matches your shirt. Oh man, your tie and shirt match your suit. Holy shit, that's cool." And I'm like, it's just fashion. And I'm like, because at the time that was a thing. It didn't look good, but at the time it was in fashion. I didn't like it, but still. What would you say? What shade of purple should wear if I have brown skin and a soft and youthful but still masculine look? A dress. No.
Very mean.
That's factual. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough because purple and brown. Yeah, that'd be a weird one. Because like this is the thing is purple is always going to be flashy. Right, so if it's going to be flashy, you kind of have to figure out what are you trying? Because like I know a buddy who's getting married soon too. I wouldn't mind a dress. Hey man, it's hot out there, and there's nothing wrong with that. Also, Cole is going to Anaheim in August for Disneyland. Let's hit me up. There you go.
Yeah,
hey, that'll be a fun time. But yeah, I don't know. Like that's the thing is like it's a hard position you're in because realistically, it's needed to be in this. That's fair. Listen, the right dress with the right calves. I'm telling you, people be like, "Get me the guy with the gams." It's gonna be.
Get me the guy with the gams, man.
That's going to be the title of this episode. Get me the guy with the gams.
I think that makes for a good episode title. But yeah, like the reason purple is flashy is not. I don't know if it physically draws your eye in terms of like on a molecular level, right? Where it's got more things. So I don't think it's that. I think it's because for literally all of history, purple was what royalty wore.
True.
To elevate someone to the purple means to like crown them king,
also,
queen, etc.
Purple and blue are only recently for consumption, right?
Yeah.
Up until a while ago, they weren't for food. Like it was not.
It was very hard to get indigo or whatever it is you were doing to dye your clothing purple. So it was saved for royals. So that's why I think there's that innate flashiness to it. Where
it definitely. There's a lot of. Sorry, you know what?
Yeah, sorry.
When I did, just so you guys know, so I'm doing this weight loss thing and I'm documenting on my channel, but I for 111 hours this past week, I was drinking water, lemon water, and coffee with cream. That was it. And I was fasting for the whole week. I did 111 hours. I felt like shit at the end of it, but that's possibly emotional, whatever. But the burps never goddamn stopped.
Yeah.
I was just burp. And people were like, how? You didn't eat anything. And I'm like, they don't taste like anything either. I don't know. And also, better out the attic than the basement. That's just facts. Oh, I don't have a suit. I got a blazer and a tie. That's all you need. But that's all
that you don't know how to tie. You can look that up online. That's
also yeah. See, that's also a big thing, and I definitely like you should know how to tie a tie. Just in general, it's a good thing. And also, I'll tell you this much: a woman that can tie your tie for you is super fucking hot. Just I'm just telling you that's happened to me once in my entire life. Super hot.
I learned something about like
ties. She was like, I can tie that for you. I'm like, no, really? It's hot.
Where ties came from, I learned this a couple days ago, actually, and this was completely like ancillary to how this episode came to be. But so during the 30 Years' War, where the entirety of Europe is beating each other up over God, right? What is the best way to deal with God? So France, 17 years in, was having a rough time. So they got these Croatian mercenaries, and they held their clothes up with a proto tie, kind of. All right. So when they're marching through Paris to like go, like, all right, let's go get them. King Louis, whichever Louis it was like, that's fucking cool. And then he starts a fashion craze, and the French pronunciation of it was cravat instead of cravat, right? So that's where cravat comes from. And then over time, it like goes from like the puffy thing to like a bow tie to a necktie over time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like cool how ties came to be. It's like the one thing on a suit that you can express yourself with.
Definitely.
Is the tie. Yeah.
I'll tell you this much is if you have a nice, I would spend extra money on your shirt and tie and spend less money on a suit. And I'll tell you why. People, if you can get a basic black suit, like this is just good advice for everybody, a basic suit, dark blue, black, whatever, dark gray, all those colors is fine. If you're not someone who needs to wear a suit often, it's fine. Yeah. But you can get 2 or 3 ties, 2 or 3 different shirts, and you can wear that thing right to your grave. Mm-hmm. But if you wear suits often, like I had to wear one every day in my career, I had like 7 to 10 suits. I still have them. And now they actually fit quite nice.
Oh, that's good.
So I've been wearing them on stage, and I'm like, I'm just trying to get use of it. But no, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
There are many comedians who pull off the like suit that, like John Mulaney, perfect example of somebody like if you saw him in a t-shirt and jeans, your head would explode. It doesn't feel right to see him like that.
Well, you're like, oh, look at it, he's a child. He's a baby, and this like that's why I'm like it's I feel like because I really, really don't enjoy people who still express themselves with like a hairstyle, which I'm like, why not a personality? I don't know. It's weird, right? And that's why it's like. Whereas when you dress, it's not like you can definitely express yourself with how you dress, but also like there are a few standards. Like you wear a suit, people respect you just immediately. You could be a complete fucking idiot, like just not smart at all, but you wear a suit and people are like, why, hi sir, hello sir, what can I do for you? And you're like, I'm an idiot. They're like, that's all right, you're wearing a suit, we'll accept you. It's just one of those things.
Like when it's not like there's a reason that when you see pictures making fun of Trump, 9 times out of 10 it's him golfing.
Yeah,
because him with the like collared shirt and the khaki pants, he looks like a toddler. Whereas like the suit, there's at least like the plausible deniability.
Definitely. And listen, a suit definitely clears up a ton of like it makes you look fantastic, right? Like it's so forgiving. Like I personally, my preference is a 3-piece suit because I look fucking wicked. Also, a little bit like the Kingpin. Also, definitely, like I walk in the room and everyone just stops.
Kingpin, the Marvel villain, right?
That's definitely correct.
All right.
Sure. Because I'm I see. This is the thing: is I'm still humongous, and people are like, "Oh, you're so small," and I'm like, "I could rip your head off with one hand," and they're like, "Still crazy." I'm like, "Definitely still crazy, everybody." That's it. And Cole, yeah, listen. That's the one thing is you can also look badass with a tie that's just loose with the top button unbuttoned. You still look good. You still look like you were formal, but now you're relaxed, and you're like, it's not like just
the doing this makes you look like you're in trouble.
But there's a key: is one hand trouble, 2 hands I'm casual.
Okay, all right.
There's a very, and I'll tell you this much, like there are quite a few new age fancy ties where
Mm-hmm.
people do like it looks like a bunch of triangles going in on each other. Get fucked, okay?
Yeah.
Just you. There's no reason, like you can do that. You look insane though,
Mm-hmm.
and when you do that, I'm jealous, but also my giant sausage fingers can't do that shit. So I just go.
Yeah. Oh, and also white guys. Bow ties were ruined by Tucker Carlson. So
Oh, I think
yeah,
it was earlier than that, but I'll give you that. That's
no,
fine.
but
Yeah,
like
he
that
definitely
was
did it. He
yeah,
final nail in the coffin,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
So we're like I think like people of color just can pull it off. Don't bother if you're a white dude because like the second you put on a bow tie, people are being like, you're you got an SS tattoo on you somewhere, don't you? Like, I'm sure.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's all right, Cole.
Yeah.
Hey, enjoy your time, buddy. It's always a pleasure to have you. But that's the thing is like when you like look, I'm sure you've experienced this, Liz, when you wear your old man sweaters,
Yeah.
people definitely treat you different, right?
Mhm.
Like I feel that if you tripped and fell wearing one of those sweaters, people would be like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" Instead of if not wearing a sweater, they just laugh.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm like thinking about when I like step into a classroom for the first time as a teacher. What message am I trying to exude? Am I trying to be like Dennis from It's Always Sunny, being like, all right, fuck all of you, we're here, like just completely over it? Or do I do the like closer to Mr. Feeney where I'm just like, we are here to learn or whatever? I'm not entirely sure.
But yeah, you know what? Listen, remember there was a movie. It would have been from your youth, but it was called Dangerous Minds, and Michelle Pfeiffer
Great movie.
had the same conundrum.
Yeah.
The difference is that number one, she's gorgeous, and you look like someone who has or may soon live under a bridge. So it's not.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's
Not really. We're just kind of taking a break and seeing what we can do on our own. That's all. Just to discuss different topics that we maybe haven't in the past.
It's a bit of a palate cleanser, and then we'll go back to guests. Old man sweater. Now I'm curious. I have it in the same room as me. If you want me to,
definitely, absolutely. Yeah. Listen, and you can tell when he puts it on, you're like, oh, that's definitely an old man sweater. You got to wear it standing up though, because it's like the pockets are really far, like low around his wiener area. So you're like, that's definitely an old man sweater, right? There you go. See, 100% old man sweater. That's top tier old man sweater.
This is the dad sweater. I have this in green, as you can see, and then I have also one in black. It's the same like style. They're both from Banana Republic that I've gotten as Christmas presents.
They do look good on you, but also you look like you're going to argue about child support with somebody.
Yeah, which is why, like, because if I do this, right, put the sleeve all the way, this makes me look like a wizard, which is weird. Which is why I always have the sleeve partially rolled up.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It definitely makes you look like a wizard.
Yeah. The worst part is like when it's been worn a while and then the fabric starts to stretch a little bit, then you get like really bad wizard sleeves, then you gotta wash it so it firms back up. You do look older than usual. Out of curiosity, Zaru, how old do I look to you in general?
Like a youthful 35.
Youthful 35. Okay, because that's still older than what I actually am. So
yeah. But like wearing it, you definitely look like 40. But man, good jeans, jeans. Like it's definitely because me, I look old as shit because I have gray hair everywhere. Yeah. But realistically, it's not.
I'm gonna go gray super fast. My dad went gray in his early 40s. Like that shit is gonna hit me like a freight train. I think. Maybe mid 30s. All right, that's good. Because before I grew this, I was like, people were saying like, "Can I see your ID?" And then after I grew it, we have a table right here for you, sir. So like, never shaving this unless it's for a thing.
I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Also, when see, I'm lucky because I've been so fat. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're an old man." Right, and even when I shave, people are like, "You're still an old man," and I'm like, "Oh," but it does,
That's the way it's going to be.
It feels like you look like a late 30.
Okay, so not a lot of plots.
Boom, called it.
Yeah. I do want to like come back and revisit this topic with a woman or like non-binary or not a dude guest, because I think it would be interesting to see how they deal, like how they see fashion and things like that. I would love to come back to this in the future.
Definitely. Yeah. I'm open to that.
Yeah.
We can definitely do that. But I guess we'll call it for today. This has been very enjoyable conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Sure. So I guess for comments section or people on Spotify, what is your favorite outfit to wear? Be it now or when you were a kid or whatever. What's the thing? Put it in the comments below. Leave a like. Leave a comment.
Or post the picture on Twitter and tag us.
That's good. At Generation Dan on Twitter. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, Atlas, where can they find you?
Yeah, they can find me at Atlas Novak, Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. I'm also on YouTube under the name The Epileptic Comic. So that's mostly just my TikTok sketches put there, but there will be other stuff in the future. And then my other podcast, At Nexus at Night, that's about a trading card game called Card Fight Vanguard. So good stuff. What about you?
Fun times. I'm at Dino the Genetic Marvel Guys, and I'll tell you, I am doing a series for the next. So today is day 9. I'm going to 30 days live every night at around 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just to tell everybody the story of how I'm trying to overcome being a fatso. And so far, it's going well. I've lost a human being worth of fat.
I've lost a power forward worth of fat.
It's a weird thing because like I've gotten like I'm still fat, but I've lost a lot of fat, so it's like where do I fall? Also too, I wish a motherfucker would, because right now like these hands are fast and still gigantically to the point where I look like a clown, like because my arms are getting a lot, like my forearms look fantastic, let's just be clear on that, but also my hands are ridiculous. So it's a fun time, but please like, share, subscribe, check us out whenever you have the chance, because hey, come on, you're gonna go outside, it's dog shit out there. The sun, that shit gives you cancer.
Yeah, the sun peeks in through the window and makes half an hour of this show hell.
That's metal in your lungs.
Just saying.
I completely forgot we had that.
I have so much. I have a lot of time on my hands, guys. It's not fun. Yeah, give us a suggestion what you guys want us to talk about next.
Yeah, definitely.
We enjoy the shit out of talking to people because pick a reason. That's fine.
Good stuff. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next time.